Brenda, I believe you were gonna tell me your budget, or was after the proposal I was talking about at the last
Yeah,
meeting?
I thought wind was coming down, but he might get paid up. Spend crazy money already.
Really?
Oh,
When isn't it over there?
Someone decided to throw rocks through there, so.
Say that's for little kids?
I don't know if it's little kids or not. I guess on the whole thing, I tried to figure out what the 66,000 consisted of. I can see part of it, but I've got a question on that. Is that the ending, would that be the ending cash balance?
No,
No.
totally different.
Does that make sense? 'Cause it would
Does
be-
my answer make sense? Is that
Well,
what you're asking?
And that's why I'm asking the question, because how the figures were.
The 66,000 is the amount that you over-inflated your expenditures and have not spent in relation to where you were in the year or in relation to previous years. So it is the overinflation of your budget amount.
good morning.
I wouldn't call it an overinflation. I budgeted on the previous year. I can't predict what fuel prices are, for one thing. And with the new vehicles, the only two areas where I see, would be the repair and maintenance and supply, which covers fuel and vehicles. The new vehicles cut down the cost on that, but I'd already submitted my budget for predicting on the old vehicles. Radio services, we're in the process right now of, matter of fact, they're up there as we speak with the microwave. I don't know if there's gonna be more expensive out of there.
That's not included in this, that new paperwork I gave you.
Well, I'm just going through my line item in my budget.
Okay, do you have copies for all of us?
No, this is what I have
Okay.
printed out. But I wanted to find out if that 66,000 included, or would be the ending cash balance at the end of the year.
And again, no, it wouldn't. Totally separate.
What is the cash balance?
Her cash balance right now is unfortunately negative 39,000 and some change. I have that total here. Another reason that this is such an emergency, $39,648.79 negative. Per your budget, that was supposed to be 14,606.
Yes, and that's why I was asking if that was to be the ending cash.
So what will the ending cash be?
Right now is negative 40,000.
But with an infusion.
I don't know at this point.
How did we get negative 40? Is it because of the wage stuff, is that?
No, like I said last time, or Monday, we infused your budget with PILT to cover the wage increases, to cover the loss in the mills due to the DOR Heidecker case, to cover the 20 cents agreed to in the CBA, and to cover the COLA. It was all covered by PILT to help your budget start more solidly.
With the total
At the beginning
amount
of
of
the year.
what from Pilt?
What's that?
With the total amount of what from Pilt?
I don't remember now, but a significant amount. 25,000 roughly was the wage issue fix, and the other numbers I just don't have off the top of my head. And then 80,000 for the vehicles.
So the 14,000, that doesn't exist?
That's the
It's been
project,
spent.
that's the projected ending cash balance at the end of the year if everything comes in.
It was. Yeah. In your budget. That's what you put in your budget for your cash reserves, was 14,606.
I'm not gonna argue a point that I've already stated. That would be the ending cash balance. If everything came in according to what Debbie provided me, there should be 14,605.
But
And-
somehow we spent that, I
and-
guess I don't
and
know
we
where we
didn't-
spent it. but-
Let's say we didn't overspend. That's what it should be, and we haven't overspent of what was allocated to us in the budget. Does that make sense? With
Sorry,
our
I'm a little lost.
with
but-
our beginning cash balance, our non-tax revenue, and our tax revenue. If, let's say we spent the whole budget, that would be the ending cash balance, but we haven't spent the whole budget. Does that make sense?
Sort of.
It's just revenue sources haven't. I mean, I believe we've, brought in the revenue that we've projected that we would through the year. I don't know if I got that in here. But that was a question that I had, is if that 66,000 was to be the ending cash balance. Projected ending cash balance, I should say. And I wasn't able to talk to Corey on the moving from one budget to another. That's another concern of mine, because of what Harold Blatty told us down here. So,
Why do you mean
those
it's-
are moving from detention to public safety, because, taxes are milled for both public safety and detention.
Would you walk us through how you got to where we're at? Please.
Sure. This, of course, will be a repeat, but it never hurts to have a refresher.
I just want to make clear in my mind.
Yeah, I understand that. I just need to find it. This is the cash balance sheet for May 28th. That's where the numbers are. I also have updated expenditure and revenue sheets, if you want to look at those. Okay, so we all have the sheets. I don't have enough copies if you don't, so you'll have to look on with a friend. Okay, again, this is dated 4/14. I did not go through and update it because it takes a lot of time, and this is close enough for our purposes of putting together a proposal, or answering a proposal as brought forth by the sheriff.
So you're looking at you're looking at this one.
Is that what you wanted the repeat of? Or did you want a repeat of this?
Yeah.
This, okay, sorry. No, we're looking
Well, I
at
wasn't clear enough.
we're looking at the proposal. I guess this is a counter proposal dated June 1st. The proposal, as submitted by the sheriff and as agreed to by everyone at this table, was, please draft a budget amendment of $317,000 from the PILT fund transferring into the Public Safety Fund cash reserves for fiscal year 2015. That's this year to end June 30th. This is the amount that will make the public safety budget whole for fiscal year 15. So, counter proposal is, in exchange for the $315,000 to continue operations for your department through November 2015, the sheriff agrees to provide a long-term plan for funding public safety. Date to be agreed to by the sheriff and commissioned by 7/1/2015. 2, the sheriff agrees to monthly meetings to review expenditures, revenue, and cash balance, the first Monday of every month, starting in July 2015. In exchange, the commission agrees to find the means to $317,000 to fund the sheriff's public safety budget. This is through fiscal year 2015. $30,000 that was budgeted to be transferred from the detention center to maintenance will not be transferred. $126,838, which is the surplus in the detention center over the 33% reserves allowed by law, will be transferred from the detention center to public safety. Expense estimates for the public safety budget were inflated in the fiscal year 15 submitted budget by updating the work done for 414, that shows a surplus now of $66,318. The cash reserves for public safety, as submitted in the sheriff's fiscal year 15 budget, was $14,606. When you add all those numbers together, you get $237,762. When you subtract that from $317,000 requested, you get a balance left over of $79,238. I propose a one-time infusion of $79,238 into the public safety budget to realize operations for fiscal year 15.
Can you go back,
Yes.
4 lines, 30,000 plus 126,838. Tell those lines again, please, and why.
The $30,000 is the amount that the detention center and maintenance, detention center administrator and building supervisor came to us and suggested that because of all the hours maintenance was spending in the detention center and all the upcoming projects, that they would transfer $30,000, it was surplus, to maintenance to help defer those costs.
Okay.
So, the second one, 126,838, if you look at your budget sheet from last year's budget, the surplus in the detention center was 300, surplus, the ending cash was $323,729. Per MCA, they could not have over 33%. This was over 33%. The amount over is actually 129,589. Over the 33% reserves and will be allocated to 940 or CIP funds. So instead of doing that, we're gonna take that surplus and give it to public safety. So I need to change that number, or not, because it's,
Wasn't part of that surplus utilized to purchase the black truck?
I believe so. That's.
that was a request brought to the commission at the beginning of the budget season, and it was paid for by PILT.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My understanding was that's where that was what was utilized. So I didn't know it was a PILT request.
Yeah.
Money.
PILT can, or Debbie can get you the PILT report. and it's
No,
also
I
in the minutes.
just, there's some misunderstanding there, so, I thought that's where that, having a conversation with Nick, I thought that's where he was taking it out. I didn't know it was a PILT request, so.
So the, inflated expenditures, at this point are, it's an estimate, 66,318, and that came from the report on expenditures dated 5/28/2015, subtracted from the report on expenditures dated 4/14. And then the cash reserves for public safety come from the submitted budget by the sheriff. And it is right here. We knew it was a problem then, and that's why we had an agreement that we would start working together 6 months into the budget on a monthly basis. And instead we got hit with a lawsuit, and that never happened. That's why we're here at the 11th hour with a building that's burning down, and we've got people screaming from the top windows. And that's why we have to do something, and that's why I offered a counter proposal.
I don't think there's any choice.
Well, if
We
you
have
wanna
to do
counter
something.
this proposal, that's fine with me. I agree with you. We have to do something, or else we're looking at the nuclear option done by other counties, and that is public safety is reduced to the sheriff and the undersheriff at the actions of the sheriff and her budgeting. If that's the direction you wanna go, that is gonna be your call, not ours.
That's not fair to the people of Belleville County.
It is absolutely
and-
not,
and
or her
if-
staff.
If you don't mind, it's not fair to me because I brought it up before the budget was even set. So it's not a misbudgeting on my behalf. No, it's not.
So, what are we gonna do today to save your staff and to benefit the people of this county?
Well, hopefully today we can start working together rather than start arguing like we've done in the past.
What are your questions on the proposal, Brenda?
I have asked my questions on the proposal. On
Okay,
the 66,000, from the sounds of it, it's the ending cash balance.
are you ready to sign this agreement and
Is-
move forward?
You're guaranteeing me that's not the ending cash balance, or what was supposed to be the ending cash balance?
Okay, you
Because-
asked this
Because,
question
let
now.
me finish, please, because if it is, per Debbie's own sheet, the only reserves that were set aside would have been the cash balance. So to me, I'm looking at it as we're using that 16,000 twice. That's why I asked the question.
I've answered you 3 times, I'm not gonna even address this anymore. If you still are confused, please take some time, sit down with Debbie, and get an education on the budget.
I have tried. And as far as meeting with you guys, I can meet with you all I wish to, but if I don't have the budget in front of me and can't get it printed out because they're switching systems, what good does it do any of us to sit down and discuss the budget? When I can't even have it in front of me to discuss. And it wasn't until March that I received it.
Is it my understanding it can be pulled up online now to look at?
Mm-hmm. Every department has full access to their budget on a daily basis on Black Mountain. So, yeah, you're 100% right.
That's right.
Well, I haven't got a password yet. Debbie hasn't taken it, she said at the time, show me how to do it, so.
It sounds to me like that's something we need to get done right away.
Yeah, and you could certainly, put together a meeting with her.
Yeah, there's lots of things going on, and it's, that's the thing, is whether or not I can look at it online whenever I feel the need. Unfortunately, it takes the bottom of the totem pole of importance, with everybody's getting ready for budgets and trying to get on top of things. I sat down with her yesterday trying to figure out some search and rescue stuff, and I said, you know what, we'll just have a conversation after the first of the new fiscal year, because it's amendments and things of that nature, just, there's too many things that have to take place, and obviously we all know that Debbie's had to take some time, for family reasons, and that's we just work around it, so, I'm not in a crisis mode by any stretch of the means. If I can't look at it online, if I have to wait for a paper copy, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it, so,
What's the chance that we could have Black Mountain come here again and show everybody how to get in to see your budget?
without screwing up. That's more than I'm concerned.
It's read only, so we're okay
Oh,
there.
yeah.
And the dilemma here is, when I would go to Debbie or Tammy to get what I needed, they were just learning the system. And this is the past few months.
But that isn't the case now. I think they know the
I
system now.
understand that, but that was a huge block for all of us.
The 40,000 in the red that you brought up, Laura, is that from, like, real time as of right now? And I'm curious, and I guess my only dilemma on this is part of the proposal and maybe I'm just ignorant to this, but Park Proposals is utilizing 14,000. That's my understanding, right? But then you say that we've already spent the 14,000 for you in the hole. I guess that's my, I'm not trying to be complicated, I just don't understand. Is if we've already spent 14,000 that we had set aside and we're 40,000 in the hole, then you can't utilize 14,000 as part of a solution to a problem. That's my thought process, correct me if I'm wrong, but we may have to increase it.
You know what, we may, I didn't include the cash balance into this because I didn't know how.
Okay. And this is a very significant issue. This isn't just we forgot to cross an I or to cross a T and dot an I here. I mean, we're talking about a very significant issue, and when you think about how important this is, and people don't stop. I mean, public safety also goes with dispatch. There's no dispatch. There ain't no medical calls. There ain't no fire calls getting paged out for anybody. It might come down to sheriff and I, but guess what? That 24-hour operation will shut down, and that's a huge problem.
It
And,
is,
you know,
and I guess that's why I took the time, about 4.5 hours on Sunday to put this together. Because I didn't know, at the time, all I knew was there was a request for $317,000 of PIL, period. So I tried to find $317,000 because of that reason. Now, the 40,000, you know what, as compared to 317, it's a drop in the bucket. The 14,606 is what you guys already budgeted as your ending cash, so that's why it was used.
And that,
You
and
know-
part of that comes down, and you know, I don't like the blame game. I don't like it, okay? I'm the one that sat down with you folks in September and said, this is what you asked me to do, this is what I did. I didn't go any farther than that. We had a problem, I found a solution, and I moved on to the next one. And I don't, you know, we all make mistakes. And if I would've known that this was gonna be such an issue down the road, I would've taken the time to try to find a better solution. But we are limited, and that's the problem.
You did exactly what you were supposed to in December,
Mm.
and that's when we said, okay, this gets us where we need to be in the near future. Starting in December, let's start working on a monthly basis.
Everything
That
got
it was a
bobbled.
whole package, and we lost half of the package. That's why we're at this emergency place.
And I want you guys to understand, I don't have a problem. If you guys wanna pick a Monday and say, we want you here at 9 o'clock, when I've never had a problem coming over and having a discussion. I'm just one of those people, you have to let me know when you wanna see me. Because there's a laundry list of tasks that fall in my little world. So if you're not gonna, if you want me there at 9 o'clock, that's fine. Let's just be clear on that. I've always been open to it, so, monthly meetings, bi-monthly meetings, it doesn't matter. Whichever way we need to do it to make it work. Communication's the key, and what's done in the past, we don't live there anymore. We can't change it.
We need to go on.
We have to go forward, and we have to find a way to work together as a group, as a team, to communicate effectively and move in a direction that serves the purpose of serving the people of this county in a more positive approach than what we've done in the past. So, that's my politically correct spiel for this morning. I honestly don't know how to fix this problem, but.
Mr. Chairman, Ann Rousey, Public Citizen. We're getting off the subject of taking care of the FY15 budget. This right now is the only proposal that is out there to take care of it. If you don't have another proposal, I would suggest, in the interest of everybody, that it be taken care of. And it's not a perfect fix. Budgets are not perfect.
They can't be.
They can't be. But something needs to be done to keep public safety going. Nobody wants it shut down.
And
Let's
guess my only
deal with
suggestion.
this and not talk about fiscal year 16, let's take care of this.
My only thing is, I would ask, in the grand scheme of things, is just because there's some confusion in regards to the 14,606, there's some confusion in where we stand, is instead of using a firm number of 79,238, if we have some flexibility in that, you know, is it gonna be $10,000 or $12,000 or whatever it may be? In the grand scheme of things, 33% is designed to be the maximum to make sure that it's covered. You know, if we have some numbers, no one's got completely standard, perfect numbers. I don't think anybody has that. Instead of using something with that latitude, I would ask that we have something a little more flexible to say, let's solve the problem, but let's not go overboard. You know, plus or minus a few, you know.
And we may have to come back and tweak it some more.
The question is, I guess it's 79,000 enough? Is that
Well,
kind of what it boils down to?
Unfortunately, Commissioner, I'll be honest with you, I'm a cop. I'm not a number crunching guy. I hate to say that, but, I didn't finish the top of my class in math. So, I don't know if it is or not. I agree with Ann, is we need to find a solution to fix it, because we don't want a Powell County issue, by any stretch of the means. And so,
How did they end up fixing this?
they're actually bringing them back. You know, they did the sheriff, the undersheriff thing and laid everybody off, and now they're in such turmoil, that they're starting to bring back those deputies that are available. A lot of them have taken jobs other places. So they're trying to rebuild. It's a slippery slope and a double-edged sword, unfortunately. A necessary evil of life and the same note.
And nobody wins.
Nobody wins. So,
It is not a road we wanna go down.
No, it's not.
no. And there are, I mean, we do have a good agency right now. We're always striving to do better, but, we're getting there. But we need to keep going in that direction. And like I said, you know, at some point, a long-range planning meeting with all the members involved, including members of the public, is gonna need to take place in order to establish if there's a way to gather and maintain that public safety mill levy that would ultimately relieve the general budget of public safety costs, or at least supplement it in some aspect. But that's a very large project, and a lot of time has to go into that. So,
Back to this proposal that, you want changes, you want more? I mean, it's something, we gotta go back to this proposal.
Well,
Is it gonna,
you know, I think until you have the powers to be to sit down and say, okay, yep, this money's here, this money's here. The only other concern I have is this, we had this huge dispatch project that took place this year to redo that dispatch center. I have no idea what fund that came out of, that funded that particular project. So I can't say,
That was the 911.
was it the 911? And so I just don't know. There's some things, I don't know everything in the world, but, so I just don't know. I mean, I guess I would like to say, if we're gonna move forward with that, that's fine. Let's just make sure that there's still 126 available. Let's make sure, let's be dead set sure that that's there, and we're not missing anything. And then if we just say, you know what, if, I guess, I would look at the top line, is say, okay, if we're gonna try to do the 317, then let's find the means to make that happen and make sure that everything's there. Because, heck, there could be 90,000 in that, I don't know, I don't know. And so, I don't wanna speculate and say, yeah, we're gonna do it, and then we go there and find out that there's not enough money in that account to do that. You know, that just seems sensible to me. But I think if we're gonna make a plan that we're gonna fix this and utilize the sources that are listed, I think that's what we do for that top number. I guess that's how I think of it. I mean, I'm not really concerned how we get there, as long as we get there. If that makes sense. So,
The
but
one-
I just don't know if we're off. I just don't know. I just don't know if we're off by anything, and I'd hate to say, yeah, and then say the 79,000 is gonna come from Pilt, and then we realize we're still 20,000 short for whatever could happen, you know. We're human, no one's a robot, so, we just had to go and fix a few things because of the way the pay was, so, and it'd gone like that for, what, 5-6 months, you know, and it was just a technical error in the transfer.
Actually gone longer than that.
Did it go longer than that?
I think so.
You know, I know it was somewhere in the
It was back
conversion.
more than 1 or 2 years.
Well, no, this is just on where the funding for the officers' pay was coming out of.
All right.
And so when that transfer from, I had a discussion with Debbie yesterday, the transfer from wherever you guys were at to Black Mountain kind of jostled the thing, and it kind of became an oversight, very significant, I think $83,000 worth, is how that was being projected. And so that's what I'm saying, is that we did transfer into a different records management system, and I wanna find the end, the peaceful end of the means here, but I just think that, I prefer not to set stone with the 79,238 as being the locked-in number, just because we just don't know. And everybody's trying to work all the kinks out, so.
In other words, sound like you're okay with the proposal, if there's flexibility.
Yes, sir.
That,
That's how I feel about it.
so
I think it's a place to start.
And I think our record is flexibility. We have reached out to try and work with you guys repeatedly. I will rest on that history and on that foundation that this commission has built. If your proposal, counter proposal, is to change this to state that we will, you know, open up that number, I'm opposed to it. We need a solid number for a solid proposal, because to just make it you can have whatever you want
No,
is a danger.
it wasn't that, Laura.
I
just
know
said
I'm exaggerating, and I apologize for that, but I don't have
No.
anything coming back
No,
to me.
I just don't have, the only thing I was referring to is within limitations. I mean, if we're off by a couple $1,000s in something, you know, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just saying is that as long as the numbers are pretty close, I'm fine with it. I mean, $100 here, there, $200 there, we're not, that's not make or break. That's not gonna,
It's chump change.
that is, you know.
where'd this 40,000 shortfall come from?
I don't know. I don't know. The
It's
40
negative 40,000.
I don't know, cause the last one I got, we had 31,000 in it, so I don't,
At 31 in the count?
yes, in the cash balance.
So,
Doesn't our monthly meetings kind of address that? If something unforeseen happens, doesn't that help with our
oh, I
being able
think
to
so.
work together?
I think so. I'm still learning. I'm not trying to play the ignorant card here. I'm still trying to understand all of this. And I guess, we didn't fill a position in our patrol division for quite a few years, or quite a few months. And because we knew there was gonna be some issues with the budget. And so I guess when I hear that we're 40,000 in the hole, I'm a tad concerned. And just because I don't know where or how we got to that point.
Are you full staff now?
No.
What are we short?
Well, we got one in training. So when he's done, we don't count him until he's off FTO. And he's got 1 month Mason. I believe at the end of the month he'll be done.
Dispatch position.
And one dispatch position, and
It
then,
is open.
yeah, we took applications for it, and but then we have, one of our retention staff has applied for another job with the National Guard, and we do that. We have another detention staff that has some issues that we're in the process of dealing with HR on, and fairly significant issues in and of itself. So, Michelle's been utilized by the sheriff's office quite a bit here lately. Trying to learn from their mistakes and do things the right way, so, she's been quite an asset, but, I think she looks at the phone and goes, well, I'm not gonna answer, 'cause I call her a lot, but, that's my only concern. I mean,
Well, back in this, I hate to recommend this 31,000, or, well, you guys say there was 31,000, when was that? And now it says it's
Just
40,000.
this last month, when I had Debbie print out reports.
How,
The thing is you continuously have expenditures and you continuously have taxes and revenue coming in. So, I'm sure it changes day by day.
You know it does.
but I wasn't asking for.
so that 40,000 deficit might not be so then, is that right?
Well, it was yesterday, sure as heck isn't today. Because that's how fast it changes. I'll make a motion that we agree to this proposal and all 5 of us here sign it. And that we start meeting every month, first Monday of every month.
I will second it, and repeat that it requires all signatures.
Yes.
Oh, it costs you $5 for mine, I'm just kidding.
How about a quarter?
50 cents.
I'm a poor rancher. I don't even have 50 cents.
Back to
You have
discussion.
more than I do, because I don't have any on me at all.
Oh,
Do you two feel that this will work then? How do you feel on this proposal now?
As long as, that's, it's like I said, the only thing, as long as the numbers are concrete and good, and everything's there, I don't have a problem with it. I don't know how the sheriff feels, but as long as we're looking at, these are solid numbers and this is what it's gonna be, I'm fine with it.
And I think I voiced my questions and concerns because I don't know how some of the numbers were created, I guess. So, I voiced my concerns with you, and then the detention center moving it over.
The only thing and that was the one I brought up, the one that I just flat out don't understand, was the 14,606 versus, we're saying 14, we're black to red, that one kind of,
This would be the year end, so
so.
projected year end.
the other thing is, I've known Dave Morton, who owns Black Mountain, for more years than he or I will care to admit. I personally will call him and ask them to do a training here for anybody that wants it, so that they can see, hands-on. It'll be your budget that comes up, your numbers. We'll set it up and work around everybody's schedule, but so everybody can see what's on the same page.
And understand it, that would be.
I didn't say that.
I
That's
struggle.
been difficult throughout the
Yeah.
year, because you have a remaining balance, it says, and it's not, it's what has been spent,
Yeah. It took a while,
There's
like
been a
with
lot
the
of-
horse
and-
case. So we're going, the bottom line is $260,000. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. And then you go back and look through it, you're 91,000. So it's taken some time to try to figure out how those reports are coming across. If people could read it and understand it correctly right out of the gate, I applaud them for it, but I'm a little slower speed, I guess. They just don't.
Would it help to have Dave or
I
some of
think
his
it would.
staff come?
I think it would. I would take on the opportunity to understand. I want to understand. I don't like coming in here not knowing all the answers, so, I would be more than happy. I would ask that you do it between June 8th and June 12th, because I'll be in a convention with the sheriffs.
June 8th to 12th?
Yeah, I'm going, so.
How much has this horse situation affected the budget?
that's a whole separate.
That's everything, okay, separate on that?
Yes.
The only thing that really jams us, I think, in our budget, in the overall budget aspect, and I don't know how it all comes to play, is, definitely, there's days where the guys are, cleanup days and things of that
Mhm.
nature, where the overtime comes into play. I don't know if that's all I know there's line items on that, and hopefully it's all being documented correctly now through that, but, I don't know if if it's causing any more wear and tear on vehicles. We've tried to maintain, Mike's, maintenance truck, the best we can. We've utilized that for 6 months, 7 months. So we have taken care of that responsibility. to
Okay,
fix it.
back to the question of this proposal. Are you ready to go with this or not?
I have no problem meeting with you, but if I don't have a budget that is set in the system where I can get, either I can get it or Debbie can get it, what would you like to meet on? The proposed budget? I guess that's my question.
No, I want Dave to come and look at your budget today.
Well,
So to
what I'm
speak.
saying, futuristic, monthly, like July, August, September, until the budget's set, they don't have the figures in the system. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
What I would like to know is where you're at as far as fiscal year 15. Your cash reserves are supposed to carry you from July until the taxes come in November. So, yeah, until the budget is sent, until we get the information from DOR, to a certain extent, not entirely, our hands are relatively tied. Okay, so we
On all
can't.
departments.
On all departments. We can still discuss things, we can still talk about goals. Part of this is the sheriff agrees to provide a long-term plan for funding public safety. That is, and the date to be agreed to by the sheriff by 7/1. Well, there we go, that can be our first conversation. It doesn't have to just be fiscal year 16's budget. It can be anything connected to the financing of your department. And we have 4 months until taxes come in November. It gives us a lot of time to be reviewing your cash reserves. How are you doing? Goes back to when, and the 79,000 isn't enough? We don't know at this point. It may be plenty, plus we would be wise to watch this together monthly so we don't get into this situation, in my opinion, ever again.
No, it's stressful.
It is, it's no
I'm-
fun for
I'm-
anybody.
Your color of your face goes up and
Oh.
down from red to white, I'm
Well, you know
sorry.
what, I'm going through hot flashes, and
Oh.
because my skin is so white, you see it.
Okay. I'm
Been there,
sorry.
done that, so.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's
But
just brutal.
You know, that's the thing, I just don't, I'm tired of the conflict. I'm just flat tired of it,
We all are.
so,
Yeah.
We all are.
I talked to the sheriffs and Chuck Hurry, I don't know if you know Chuck, he's kind of an interesting individual, but I asked him, I said, we were having discussions about budgets and how such a painstaking process it is. And he goes, I said, how does your process go? He goes, oh, not bad. I said, how big's your budget? 11.5 million. Oh, I'm thinking, God, that must take 3-4 months of meetings to sit down. No, it takes me about 5.5 minutes.
Mhm.
What?
Where's he
Yeah.
from?
He's a sheriff of Flathead County.
Oh, okay.
And so, and he throws some oddball things, like, I need a helicopter, okay. I need an airplane, okay. And if I walked in here and said, I need a helicopter, all three of you'd look at me and say, you've lost your mind. You need to get on the interstate, find a place called Warm Springs State Hospital, and check yourself in.
Actually, I'd say, can I fly it?
But that's the thing, but working relationships and communication, having those open line communications and understanding where people come from and what their expectations and goals are, I think that helps the process out, but with the conflict, it's just unbearable.
Yeah, we're getting off again.
I know we are, I apologize.
Well, okay, back to this. It look like it will work.
The figures look like they'll work as long as they're all within, you know,
Okay,
the concerns that I voiced.
okay. So if you folks feel that it will, I'll go ahead and support.
I mean, if there's a couple $100, it's not.
Well, yeah, well, a couple hundred ain't gonna be, you know, say, it's the big figures, if that's.
You know, $50,000 off might definitely be something to be concerned about.
Yeah, like I'm still concerned about the 40,000 when there was 31, but like you say, things change all the time. We got a motion on the floor. We'll take it's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's passed.
Is that one clean?
I have 2 clean ones, I'd like one for each of us. So request that we sign both.
where's your feather pen?
Mm-hmm.
John Hancock kept that.
Did he?
When there's not a place down here for you to sign, but I would sure like to see your signature there too.
Oh, I'll
I
sign it.
agree. Hey, if you've signed it, send it this
Yeah.
way and
Did you
sign the
sign both
second
of them?
one. There you
Okay.
go.
I saw your significant other this morning, riding around with your son.
I've got a truck broke down and tell him he had to go get it.
Joe, Jared comes out hard, man. I said, don't freeze your dad. He goes, oh, he'll catch up. So Bob comes out and I said, well, he said he'd catch up. And he goes, I said, you'd catch up. I said, I'll just shoot out his tire so you can catch up to him. It was pretty comical. He was actually hoping for jury duty.
He
Said-
was?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He's always giving me back time. You always get picked. And he never has, so he was hoping.
I saw him up there yesterday. And
He said he told Corey when he left though, that's okay, call me on the horse one. Greg, like, there's no way they're gonna let you near on the horse one.
I think in having, from having some conversations with Corey, it's kind of tough, this whole trial that he's been prepping for.
Want to scoop one of these?
Yes.
Send them both back.
As long as they're all, and should you see all of them? Both of them?
They,
Oops, sorry, Ann.
it sounds like,
If it's okay, I'll just give Brenda hers
Mhm.
and then you'll have yours on.
That's just fine.
All right.
it sounds, Dayleen's been the problematic one.
The ex-wife or whatever.
Yeah, Tom has signed over his 2 horses, and so hopefully today I'll get those signed off and they'll be gone.
Where did they go?
I have homes for both of them,
Oh, all right.
so, yeah, so I've got some paperwork, I gotta review it, but I have some paperwork, and hopefully it all looks well, so we can hopefully get rid of 2, I'm hoping today. Or by the end of the week it'd be at best, but, he was gonna sign over the Rocky Acres horses. Unfortunately, with the civil lawsuit to dissolve that corporation because they didn't do what they were supposed to do, changes that whole ballgame. And so, and I'm hoping that the judge is supposed to give a default judgment on that, but I'm hoping that he allots us a little different plan. Statutory, we're supposed to sell those things, we're supposed to sell any asset of a corporation. And I'm hoping that he might give us a little guidance to adopt versus doing a sheriff sale for 16 horses. And Daleen, she doesn't wanna give up the horses, she wants to keep them. And
And she got money for him?
no. And so, I think, she's still, Tom's actually, his restitution stopped, he's responsible for those 2, and then whatever the corporation has, but I don't wanna do a sheriff sale, they're non-productive, and chances are, we're on a double-edged sword. I mean, some of those horses really need to be put on a canning truck and sent somewhere, but when you take money from animal rights groups, to help take care of these things, you're on, again, another slippery slope.
You're at their mercy.
Huh?
You're at their mercy.
You are, you can't, I mean, there's 2 horses out there that just, they're not ever gonna be, they might work and, I don't even know if Dick would want them for his rodeo stock. That's how terrible these 2 pairs are. I mean, they're just dangerous. But, I wouldn't get on either one of them in a buck and shoot. There's no way.
They're just wild.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, they'll hurt you. But there's really, what are you gonna do with them, So, and they're terrible to load. You can't halter one of them. I mean, she'll beat the tar out of you trying to put a halter on. The other one you can't halter either. So, you have to run them into a truck. Well, who wants a horse out in the field that you can't touch or catch?
Nobody.
Nobody, So, we're bringing some numbers down, but it's just, hopefully by, I think, the end of the, or towards the end of this month, somewhere in there, there
Do we
was,
still have goats?
no, goats have been gone for a long time. goats all disappeared, I think, in August. So,
Oh, back up.
yeah, so the goats went, like, the mom and the triplets, they went to the farm in the Dale. And then,
That'd be a good place for them.
yeah, they went, and then one of the mothers and the twins went off to Andy Martin's mother-in-law. And she wanted them, and then I ended up with one for Lacey's. Well, I bought Lacey that goat from the 4-H cell. He needed a buddy, so I ended up with one. And then Dee Anderson down there in Toston took the Billy, and then Marilyn Hedberg took the one with we had, Old Taco Bob. And so they all got sent out and got all their paperwork done and transfers and stuff, so.
Do we still have donkeys?
One, and I know part of the thing is to get those cut, but I think if we have the ability to adopt him out or sell him, he's probably, since he's an intact male, he's probably more viable as an intact male than being gelded, so. We have a committee and the judge is supposed to sign on that committee as well. I'm the chairman of it, and then John Walsh is a member and John Rouser's a member as well. And so it's supposed to be the three of us that make decisions on how these horses are dispersed and transferred and everything else. So, well, we haven't got blessing from the judge yet, so hopefully, but, because we're just like, we don't wanna go around the horses right now. They're all due for their shots, they're all need to be dewormed again.
You're gonna have to do net West Nile pretty soon too.
It's been a bigger task than we ever imagined, and we actually thought it would go a lot smoother. So,
Okay, we're kinda getting off subject, so we better move on here.
I didn't have anything else, I'm sorry.
Okay, we got a report on the horses, which we needed
Present
anyway,
this
so.
proposal to Debbie, or for the budget amendments, or you guys?
I already did, she started working on it just in case.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
I look
Welcome.
forward to working on this
See you on
together.
July 1st, allegedly. Is that what you said?
6th,
Is that the first
close
one?
enough.
First meeting of July.
That wouldn't
Will
be
that,
negotiable.
will that just be on the agenda, just as a normal,
Sure.
just a, basically a part of your, okay, that works for me.
And that would be something Franklin would just put on there
Okay.
for you.
That works, just so I know, that when I look at it. So,
Thanks.
have a great day.
You too.
You too.
Warm them up for you.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it, yeah.
Come on up, Allison.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna
Thank
talk
you.
to you about budget. Is that good? Oh.
Yours is good.
Okay, yeah, I hope this to be a happy conversation, so, yeah, let us know, I'm so excited to be here. 3 days on the job, what's that?
It's a two-way street, you know.
Yeah, well, good, I'm glad, yeah. Laura and I we met yesterday, and we did talk about budget yesterday. Both Laura and Debbie were very helpful to us to help understand that budget a little bit better. It's not near as in-depth as it sounds like as theirs is, but still, to understand everything and how it fits together. So I think that's looking pretty good for us. I appreciate the extension, for that, to make that work better, to get that done. So, we're making good progress, putting all the pieces in. We talked about the building plan a little bit yesterday, so we've included that buyback plan in the budget. And I'm gonna go to the meeting tonight, so we can hear more. I think Debbie is planning on going as well. But what I wanted to visit with you all about is, a couple things, I guess. I wanted to hear from you as far as, being that I'm new here, how you see, see extension fitting into the county plan, and what, we can be doing to help, maybe that we haven't been doing, that you see as needs in the county that need to be addressed, and how extension can help fit those roles. So if you have anything, I'd love to hear it. Help drive our needs assessment to start off.
Are you talking about the actual needs assessment we're working on, or?
I think if you have something from that, that'd be great, at some point in time, but I mean, I don't think it's gonna be anything anytime soon until I get my feet under me, is doing some sort of, formal needs assessment for extension specifically, I think would be really
Wonderful.
valuable. I think this is a good time to do that. So at some point, I do think that would be valuable, to do. So,
We're currently doing one with the Board of Health.
okay.
And so,
Mhm.
that would be, you know, something that would add to the flavor of yours, I would think.
Mhm.
One jumping off to the other because it's all
Yeah.
intertwined. So I'm excited to hear that. Very good.
Yeah, for sure. I was part of a needs assessment. I was invited in my previous job up to one in Flathead County. And as I was doing that, I was thinking, okay, no, this would be a good process to replicate. I hadn't gotten this job yet, but thinking ahead, like, that would be a good process to replicate. They've had different producer meetings, 4-H meetings, just general community meetings to kind of do that, probably similar to what the health board is doing. So, it'd be good. But if you
Nice.
hear of anything, I know you guys get to hear all sorts of fun things in your job.
Right.
That would be great for me to know too. Obviously, I've been a resident of the county, but I'm not always tuned into everything. On our ranch, I hear things from my family, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're things that, you know, the whole county shares as common interests and needs. So, yeah, again, if you hear of anything and know something, that'd be great.
I keep waiting for these two to speak up, but
No, you go.
Yeah, please do.
I'll just make notes.
I mean, there's no doubt 4-H is a big thing in this county.
Mhm.
And I would certainly like to see it keep going forward,
Definitely.
very definitely. If there's new projects coming up, great, let's try them,
Yeah.
you know. Because not every kid wants to raise a steer or cook
Mhm.
cookies.
Mhm. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And there is so many, you know, 4-H was traditional at one point with the whole cows and cooking concept, but it has grown so much. And I don't know if you all know that there's a pretty active robotics group, and that's just one example of one of the.
I've been very involved with that group.
Oh, good, cool. I haven't met all those kids yet, but I've heard that they're pretty fun and doing some.
They're
awesome things.
unreal. I mean, they get their little computer over here and they get their Lego type things over here and they're doing it and, oh, it won't raise quite high enough, so they're over here doing something. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
On Fair Day, I went and watched them
Oh, good.
do it even.
It's so cool, and they learn so many different things with that. I mean, they're learning basic computer programming, they're learning engineering, they learn some basic science, math skills, and then additionally working as a team, because a lot of times it is a team activity. It's just the things that they learn with that, it's phenomenal, it's so much fun. And I think we can just continue to build on that, and then there's, you know, other 4-H projects like aerospace, wind energy, I'm trying to think of some of the more new ones.
I like some of the projects that are self-determined.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a variety of different things there. Welding, beekeeping is kind of a self-determined one. Yeah, there's just so many fun ones. And I think we can continue to grow it. I think one of my goals probably this fall is to start recruiting some new volunteers to help lead up some of those new projects. Because I've had already suggestions of areas of interest. Photography, that's another one that I've heard there's quite a bit of interest. And I would think there's gotta be some people around in this county that would be interested in working with some kids in some of those areas, so, yeah.
You know, Kelly Morris is a
Oh, yeah,
fantastic photographer, I think.
that's a good idea.
He might be very, I don't know if he'd be interested or not, but most he can say is no.
Exactly, and that's, yeah, what's it gonna hurt to ask? Cool, that's a good idea.
And another one is Paul Updike.
Oh, yeah.
Who else, guys?
Yeah, give me some ideas.
Yeah, Nancy, Mary, Duty.
Mary Doody, yeah.
Bob Garwood, or Bill Garwood, sorry. That's all I can think of.
Kristen has done quite a bit
Kristen,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
with weddings and family pictures and things. And I can't say she would or would not be interested. She's got 3 little kids, so.
Yeah, I'm sure she's got a lot. Her oldest was probably getting close to 4-H age, isn't she?
She'll be in first grade this fall.
First grade, she'd be Clover Bud.
Yeah, tell her, bud.
Yeah, cool. starting point.
And another thing I'd like to see is, I guess, for selfish reasons, I like some of the programs, the producer programs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything specific?
No, not really.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I'm sure everybody's watching what are these calf prices gonna do and
Mm-hmm.
what's gonna happen if the bottom falls out and all those things, but
Yeah, yeah, I heard a really interesting talk from Gary Grester from MSU, a couple weeks, well, it's probably been a month ago now, but he's given his theories at, economics, professor at MSU, and giving his theory on the cattle markets, and he had a really, really fascinating presentation about the history of the cattle markets and trends in the cattle markets, and he doesn't really think that we're gonna see, his opinion, is that he doesn't think that the market's gonna collapse like it did, as history showed. And he gave some pretty good reasoning, I thought, why he didn't feel that with the change in the industry going. There's fewer small farmers, ranchers doing the work. It's looking more and more like similar to the hog industry. And the hog industry used to cycle, and now it doesn't so much anymore. So anyway, it was just fascinating. But going off subject a little bit, but I think, yeah, he would be, I think, really awesome.
Pat Goggins, do you get
Yeah.
his newsletter?
I haven't seen it recently. My dad used to get it. Yeah.
Puts a thing in every week,
Mm-hmm.
and that man is so smart. I mean, I'm just amazed. He doesn't think it's going down.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the other experts in the field from Nebraska is Daryl Peel. Have you seen any of his stuff?
Mhm.
And he sends out, we get in extension, weekly cattle market reports. And he does think it's gonna cycle down, but he doesn't think it'll completely bottom out, either. So it's an interesting time for ranchers, that's for sure.
50 years ago when we got married, we got 18 and 20 cents on the calves in the fall,
Wow.
that first year.
Wow.
Would I want to go back then? No.
Yeah.
Not on your life.
Yeah.
Another thing I read is more of the younger people are kind of coming back into the agriculture part of it, which is a
Mhm.
good sign, because
Mhm.
the age is going up all the time,
Yeah, and it still is going up, but I totally see it right, and I see that happening too. I think the cattle market's definitely helped that. It's actually a profitable business again, where for a while there it was not. It's something you had to love to do, I think. But yeah, I see that as a trend too, which I think maybe another need in this county, and some other counties have done it, is done some like beginning young farmer and rancher programs. And I know there's several in the county here, so that might be fun too. Something like that.
You know, and grain with all the different diseases would be
Mhm.
another good thing, because we have a fair amount of dryland grain around here.
Yeah.
And irrigated grain.
Yeah,
And weeds are always a good one.
yeah, weeds.
Now I'll shut up and let somebody else talk.
Those are
No,
great.
no, yeah,
Those are really good.
yeah.
That's what that also do, so maybe back in the agriculture, but not necessarily the ranching part of it, which they are coming back more, but these other fields
Yeah,
that pertains to the agriculture, to ag, you know.
yeah, absolutely. There's some
Veterinarian, like you say, just different diseases in the grains, you know, it's, and with this different things coming in, we don't, I don't know, this bird flu and different things, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, I just got an email on that today. They're recommending, I have to visit with the livestock committee, but they're recommending, that fairs are not allowing any waterfowl this year. So I need to visit with our livestock committee. I don't know, I doubt we probably have very many waterfowl at this fair, but it's still something we need to probably address before
Yeah.
And a
this
lot.
is an issue.
Gabby's duck.
Gabby's done. Yeah. So I have to visit with probably John today. I'm hoping to get to chat with him and decide. I just saw a press release that Lewis and Clark County Fair decided no waterfowl. I just saw that today.
So are you going to allow the other poultry at the fair?
That was the recommendation from the state vet was just, this point, no waterfowl, but that, like chickens.
I see the other states are
Yeah.
banning all
All
poultry,
poultry.
turkey, chickens. and-
Yeah.
Yeah, last time I talked to Rob, he thought maybe the girls weren't even gonna be able to bring their project to the fair, so.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Montana's always behind the curve, but at the same time, we need to stay ahead of the curve
Oh,
so that we don't,
absolutely. You
that doesn't
bet.
become an issue,
You
so.
bet.
One of the things that the livestock committee did decide to add this year was market poultry, so it would be too bad if we couldn't bring any
Right.
poultry, but we'll see, I'll visit with the livestock committee.
So what do those bring on an average?
Trying to remember, so Lewis and Clark, they varied, and we usually sold them by the unit. And so anywhere from, probably on the low average would be like 175, 200 for like all 3 birds, which is still a lot when you think about it. Till probably I've seen $400 is probably the most I've seen.
Wow.
Which, yeah, when you think of those little birds.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah, yeah, and then we never sold rabbits while we were while I was there. It was in the fair book, but we never actually sold any. And they could sell any type of pen of poultry, so they could be ducks or turkeys or chickens. And then we saw turkeys almost every year, and those typically bring a little more. Those are probably the higher end. But yeah, it's interesting.
Do you want something, Bob? or-
Oh, no, I just wanted to say hi.
Hi, Bob. Good to see you.
Okay, gotta get to work.
Thank you for stopping.
Okay.
Speaking of poultry, have you seen, some areas of the state have seen a trend in backyard poultry? Has that been,
Well, I've heard about it, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And even some of the towns are letting them have, in town, they can have so many.
Right here they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, it's been quite a city council issue.
has it?
Yeah, very energetic
Yeah.
city council issue.
I know of at least 2 flocks.
Yeah.
That's interesting, that's good, was a huge thing in Helena when I was there, the egg agent did a bunch of stuff on backyard poultry. Cool, other ideas? That's awesome.
Yeah, just bouncing off some of Elaine's. You mentioned the wind energy, or maybe you did,
Mhm.
Allison, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Would you talk to Nicole about solar?
Oh, okay.
There's something cooking with her, and it might be right up your alley, or something to, learn about
Okay,
for the county.
yeah, are
Yeah.
they thinking about bringing in some grants or something with that, or just some education?
Yeah, I'm not sure of the extent of it, she's just kinda compiling the little pieces to put them into something big,
Uh-huh,
so, it's kind of exciting.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's interesting. We used to-
Another thing you might think about is, this is basically a bedroom community and a lot of retirement community. You might check and see what, if anything, senior citizens are looking at.
Yeah.
or-
That's great.
And I don't know that the home extension clubs are going anymore here.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't know that there is one, this is kind of a trend that's throughout the state, those aren't so popular anymore, although I did hear down in Carter County, they're bringing one back. Which is the first one I've heard that's come back, and I'm pretty excited about it. So, but yeah, senior programs, that'd be good, Extension does have some different programs specifically targeting seniors, there's some like arthritis programs, diabetes programs, grandparents raising grandchildren, those sorts of things.
another thing too with our seniors is they have an awful lot of chicken, some hamburger,
Okay,
very little in the way of meat,
okay,
good red meat. I don't know if that's something, but just to put an idea into your head,
yeah,
if you
it's
can,
like a healthy nutrition
yeah.
program.
Is that because of the cost of it?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
They get commodities which are, shy on meat.
Mhm.
Other counties, they do have people who will donate, but with the cost of cattle now, it's a very expensive donation.
Mhm.
So, they really don't have much in the way of red meat. And I think that would help to attract people in, and it provides such a great service that would be a good goal,
Mhm.
I think.
We usually buy a hog at the fair, and we didn't need one year, and so Bob said, what are we gonna do, what do you think? I said, give it to the food pantry,
Yeah,
and so we did. you
yeah.
know, And then he harassed another guy to do the same, so they got 2 hogs.
That's
Nice.
good.
Very good.
And maybe too some education if they can't afford the red meat, other sources of good protein,
Yeah.
and how to cook it, because I think some people get afraid of beans and stuff like that, so that's good.
Yeah.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
What you had said about educating us about the speakers that you listen to, that is never, ever off topic. I would request that you share any interesting information with us.
Sure.
Just because it's wonderful to learn.
Yeah,
And then we can become partners with you too on anything that might spark an idea.
yeah, absolutely.
Were you here for the dinner, the ag dinner that the Chamber of Commerce put on?
I was here, yep, I did go to that.
Taylor Brown's speech,
Mhm.
I think, really tied into what you were bringing up with those other speakers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought what he had to say was remarkable and
Taylor.
exciting.
It's good.
Yeah.
yeah, he is good, and, at a 4-H council meeting the other night, Hugh Broughton was talking a little bit about, that and you probably, maybe you already know this, the school board is working on trying to bring in a ag ed teacher and start up an FFA program, so Taylor Brown's speech must have been motivational to some people, so that was exciting to hear. It'll create some, probably some much different dynamics at fair and for 4-H, but, it'll, I think, be an excellent contribution to the community.
I
Absolutely.
never remember FFA being here in this county.
Uh-huh.
No, it's been suggested and requested a number of times, but it's never happened, to my knowledge.
Uh-huh. That's so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
One thing we have for the county too is the county newsletter.
Uh-huh.
It goes quarterly to every box holder in the county.
Okay.
Just a way of trying to get county news to the citizens. Ann's on the committee, I understand. Perhaps a Meet the New Extension Agent would be a great article for the next edition.
Yeah, happy to do something.
We also want to do a couple of others, but one of those would be on mosquitoes too, so that'd be a
Oh,
nice,
okay.
a nice one. We talked yesterday about inviting Allison to the mosquito board meetings to meet John Simple so that, you know, we have different ideas to weigh out and moving forward in the future.
Yep, we have talked about that for sure. Yeah, that'd be great, yeah, just let me know when I need to get that in and.
All right,
Can
and
just-
Nicole actually is the chairman of that, so when you
Okay.
talk to her about the solar, you talk to her about the newsletter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing too is, 2 more things, 4-H, the Slice of Summer,
Mhm.
the 4-H, one of the clubs, that does the more of the traveling, they sell, ice cream drinks for Slice of Summer, which is the 3rd Thursday of every month in the summer, June, July, and August. So I just wanted to. They sell ice cream drinks, root beer floats, that kind of thing, with strawberries. Yeah, lemonade. Yeah, really good stuff. So I just wanted to invite you to that.
Okay,
And then also for Fall Fest, we're looking for photographers. So if you do start a 4-H photography, we have money to pay and would be more than happy to work with you on that if you had any ideas. We
Okay.
want someone who can just dedicate themselves to taking photography and videography for the entire weekend.
just throughout.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my last thing that I wanted to talk to you about is economic development with relation to ag.
Okay.
The CIP, which is a capital improvements plan. We did that together with the city in 2011, and Extension was hugely involved, and of course, very much in the final document. How do we help support ag? What does ag do for the community? That kind of thing. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Okay.
And also, 2 things with BCDC, Broadwater County Development Corp. I would like to invite you to come to that and even potentially be a
Sure.
member.
Sure.
It's
Okay.
county development, which is hugely ag.
Mm-hmm.
And a gentleman who shall remain anonymous, I don't know if you are aware of this, purchased some equipment that ag could actually loan out
Oh,
to
yeah.
producers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any status update on that?
Working on it.
Okay.
Yes, it was brought to my attention quite quickly, actually. So the challenge is that the former extension agent did not leave the information about the order that was made, and so far my attempts to contact her and leave messages haven't been returned. So I'm gonna keep working on that, keep bugging her, and hopefully get some answers as far as the status of that. It was supposed to be delivered in April. Obviously, it's not here, so that's an important thing to get addressed. So I'll keep bothering Virginia. Apparently the conservation district doesn't have any information, and neither does our office. It was not left, so we'll keep working towards that.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
Yeah, it was quite a very cool thing, so.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm glad you're on it, thanks.
Yes, I'll keep, in fact, I might probably try to leave another message today. Or maybe she can leave back while I've been in here.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
probably my luck. Yeah, so when does BCDC meet?
I think it's the third Wednesday at 6 o'clock. We meet in the front room at the Betsy, and I can send you a reminder for the next one.
Okay.
Sometimes in the summer, it's pretty sporadic because we're pretty busy,
Okay,
but we'll start it up again in the fall.
okay,
But, yeah, some neat projects are happening with ag specifically, so I think if you're interested in
Yeah.
attending or being a member, a board member, it would be awesome.
okay, yeah, I can definitely stop by and see what it's about.
All right, sounds good.
Good.
And Nicole is a member of BCDC too,
Oh, okay,
so, just throwing that out there.
okay, good.
When you talk
It
to
all
her.
connects together.
Right.
Good deal. Other things for me? That's great.
If you start in again, you'll start jogging some thoughts.
I talk too much.
No, you don't.
Cool, cool. This is a great place to start. I'm very excited to get going, and really this summer will be interesting. Obviously, there's a lot of Forge things in the summer, but I'm really excited to get to the point where I can start doing some programming and get out there with some of the community organizations and start working together and partnering on different things. So this will be great. I did have two other little questions for you before I leave you alone for the day. So it's become brought to my attention. Debbie has indicated that she is looking at retirement not far away.
Debbie Ruckles.
Debbie Ruckle, yes, sorry. Yes, Debbie Ruckle is looking at retirement, probably not too far away, which I don't blame her, but she'll be missed. So we started talking a little bit about, as we were talking about budget, her time and different things and her responsibilities and whatnot. So the question I have for you is I just started thinking about and planning a little bit for the future is there policies and procedures regarding if I wanted to increase either the time of that position, right now she's at 30 hours, is there a procedure for that, or is it just if I have the budget, I can increase the time? Thoughts there?
Leave it to the chairman.
Well, I don't know if there is anything, a procedure I have to follow,
Okay,
on the
There
policy.
is.
Is there on there, on the extension part?
Maybe I'll take that back.
okay,
The process, it's all in the personnel policy handbook,
Okay.
so there's different steps you have to follow.
Okay.
Did you get a copy when you started?
I don't believe so.
Oh, okay, we need to correct that right now. Debbie is gone today, we'll see if Tammy can get that for you.
Okay.
So, you need that for sure.
Okay.
The second thing is, basically we asked two questions. One, do you have the money in your budget?
Mm-hmm.
And two, can you defend your request?
Sure.
Give us the reasons why, what your goals are, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Which, from today, that's gonna be an easy one for you.
I think so,
Yeah. And then, the extension budget's been strong, I don't really see any problems there, so
Okay.
that would be the second question, can you
Sure.
afford it in your budget?
Yeah.
And I would also
And-
ask extension
Ask Glenn.
in Bozeman, their thoughts on it.
And Nico in White Sulphur Springs.
Okay.
He's got some neat ideas that, Debbie's kind of aware of as well,
Mm-hmm.
on what a, second to you could be.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I would suggest talking to some others and putting together some ideas on what that job description could look like.
Yeah, and that Debbie and I talked about that a little bit as well, and I can probably guess what Nico had to say.
Okay.
With somebody, I'm probably guessing with a 4-H coordinator, program coordinator type of position, or a combination administrative assistant, 4-H coordinator. So I think that could definitely be something that we would want to at least talk about. I think there's lots of different ways we could go, and like I said, I just kind of wanted to know where I have to start and what I need to be prepared with, if and or when we come to that. So yeah, I think there's lots of some different things we could do, and definitely need to gather some thoughts and see how other counties have done it, and then we can adjust. But yeah, I think budget, from what I see, it's always hard the first year though, because
Oh, man.
you don't always know what you're gonna spend, but it seems like the extension budget seems to be strong. It's a little flexible, so.
Yeah.
Okay, that's helpful. I'll get a copy of that handbook and then I can read up on how to do that.
And job descriptions, you can get those, from Mako.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Nico has those, okay.
Yeah, and then you just tweak it to fit what it is that you want for your particular position.
Perfect. All right, and then my final question I had for you is, one thing I used to do with the other agent in Lewis and Clark County is we had set meetings with the commission, just kind of provide regular program updates. Is that something that you would like to do with me, or do you want me to just come randomly? What do you
I
think?
like that, all
I
the
do
time.
too. I do too. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, and we can start with one, if you want to start with it monthly or whatever works for you, and then we can
Yeah,
adjust.
and however your schedule will work for you too.
Sure, yeah. So you want to start monthly, or do you every other month? What do you got?
How about monthly?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
perfect for me. So is this the best time to come meet with you at these meetings?
It works for me, although Wednesdays are kind of our secondary day.
Okay,
So Wednesdays are kind of overflow, so Mondays
Okay.
are, we meet every Monday regardless. So, I'm flexible to meet on Wednesdays though, if it works better for you, so I guess I'm flexible.
okay, I guess it doesn't matter to me too much at this point. I'll have probably a definite schedule when I get a little more settled. But at this point, Mondays or Wednesdays, big one. It's kind of random in our place right now, so, if you prefer Mondays, if that works better for the three of you. Right now, I don't see an issue with that.
Well, because we meet with the road department supervisor,
Mm-hmm.
we meet with the solid waste,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
just different ones
Mm-hmm.
monthly.
Okay, yeah, definitely add me to that list, and
All right. You want us to just put you on the agenda and let you know, and we'll see how that works for time?
that's fine, yeah, let's just do that for now, and
All
go
right.
from there.
Franklin's
usually
the
it's-
chairman, so he does that.
Great,
Yeah,
good.
I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, that's okay. 15 minutes to half an hour.
Unless we get chatty.
Oh, we would never do that.
Yeah, I
Never.
can't imagine, right? Cool, all right, well, you have anything else for me today?
How's that niece?
Oh, she's so cute.
She darling.
Yes, she is. She's probably a little spoiled by her aunt, but it's so fun because they're living at with my dad right now, and so they're like right across the creek from us, so I get to
Oh.
see her all the time. It's so
Nice.
much fun. Yeah, she's about a little over 6 months now, not quite 7.
Oh.
Cute stage.
Perfect.
Yeah, she's super fun, and things are changing fast, and even if I don't see her for a few days, something different has happened, so
Oh.
it's so fun.
That's neat.
Yep, indeed. So, well, thank you so much for meeting with me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you for
Welcome.
coming and
We're glad
welcome
you're here.
aboard. Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it, and of course, let me know what I can do to help strengthen Barbara County.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Oh, and tell Debbie, sorry, no retirement.
No, that's what I tried to tell her. I said, "You're not, are you?" But I know she wants to. Carrie's been retired, I should know, for a while now, and I suspected that she might be thinking about it. So, but I think she's gonna at least get through the summer, and then probably we'll visit about it. So, but yeah,
We'll talk
maybe I'll
next
tie her
week
to the
then.
chair, and it just won't let her.
Right, yeah. Super glue.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see if that'll work. He won't notice she's gone, right? All right. Well, thank you all, and I'll probably see you at the meeting tonight.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Allison.
It's gonna be a nice addition to this
Oh,
county.
superb, yeah.
Young, full energies.
You bet. I want to be young and be a kid again. That's all I've got.
We have, the budget that we tabled, we had a
Oh.
deadline of June 1st, so we should get that done. And the minutes, whenever the chairman wants to bring those forward for a vote.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes
Well,
last week.
I will
I
second.
haven't even read them, we just got them.
No, we didn't, we got them this
the other
week.
day.
Yeah, they were emailed out like all the others. Yeah,
They mailed out on either Monday or Tuesday, I can't remember which.
yeah,
Of last week.
That's it right there.
so I will repeat the second of my motion, with a friendly amendment as submitted.
Well, hey, I didn't invite John Wright. He called me if he could come.
Franklin, you need to follow the policy. I asked you if you were with him and you said yes, so, you need to take ownership.
Yeah, but I didn't invite him.
Well, you were supposed to in order to,
For him to get in.
yeah, if he called you and you said, yeah, come on over, you invited him.
I
So,
proved it, I didn't invite him. He's present by invitation. I didn't even know how long it was present by, so I'm approval with that change. You know, just that one word in there.
that's not the motion. I call for the question. I repeat, I call for the question.
Can I repeat? That, like I said, just now got these.
No, you didn't, Franklin.
Yes, I did.
Call for the
Sorry.
question, please,
Okay.
Chairman.
They were all mailed to every one of us at the same time, every single one of
I
us.
don't know why I didn't get it, but I did. Okay, motion made and seconded. The minutes of May 26th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No.
I guess next time when he calls you, you're gonna have to be real careful what you say.
But still was an invitation.
I agree. Words have power. If you would pass those over, we'll go ahead and get those signed unless you're gonna sign them. Words have meaning. You know, you have to take ownership for them.
Oh, here, that.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking they were 3 lines.
Hey, Michael.
Actually, you should probably sign since
How you
you're
all doing?
the vice chair. Hey, Mike.
Hi. Can I visit with the commission during your work session?
Okay, I guess we'll just,
Well, whenever, yeah, I can come back.
no, while you're here, let's go ahead and
Okay.
hear what you have to say.
I want to talk to you about our EMPG grant, Emergency Management Performance Grant. We got, $25,000. And we sent out
Thanks, Mike.
a request for proposal. And it's gonna be on your agenda next Wednesday. Oh, next Monday, excuse me, 2:00 next Monday. And that's the request that I sent out. I'd like to have you look at it before, you don't have to read it all right now. This pre-disaster mitigation grant is a grant we have. We kinda have to do this because if we use federal FEMA funding, we need to have a current one. And in January, Montana DES awarded us a $25,000 grant that is a 75% federal cash, and we have a 25% local match. And we're gonna do that with in-kind soft money. So the grant performance period must be September 30th, 2016. And I sent out this request to the different vendors. There was like 5 of them that Montana DES gave me a list of those consultants that do these. I sent it out on the 7th. I gave them an opportunity until May 15th for written questions, if they had any questions for me. They were to email them to me. I had no questions asked. The proposals were due on Friday the 29th. We received 5 packages back. I have not opened those packages. I plan to do that Monday at your 2 o'clock meeting. Our schedule on this is that this week we kind of review, kind of the committee. I thought I would have Julie, one of my deputies, and Nicole, my other deputies, and the commissioners to be the committee to review these 3 proposals. It's not a bid per se, because we're locked into the 25,000. Now, on my PDF, this was kind of one that was sent to me from Montana DES that they got from Lincoln County, and I kind of tried to follow their policy. It's supposed to match the state procurement policy, not a local government policy. And since nobody was bidding, I mean, it's just, that's all they're gonna get is $25,000 cash money. And the rest of our 25% match has to be a local in-kind match by meetings and some of our LEPCs and stuff. So I sent this out, and I'm just kind of go through with you today a little bit. General information is on page 2. I just wanted you to be kind of prepared before we have a 2 o'clock meeting. And then there's the scope of work, and it kind of outlines the scope of work, and it kind of continues on. We have to have a lot of public meetings. We have to involve the different side communities of Bradesburg, Austin, and the southern part of the county and up at Winston. And they submitted their different proposals, and the selection process we outlined there on page 4, selection process criteria and scheduling. Once we open those this week, we have an opportunity to review those, and then we can schedule for the following week interviews with anybody we want to bring in and interview with them, those consultants. And if they're all good proposals, we probably want to schedule some type of an appointment with them at a certain time. And maybe the commission can make that decision Monday when they want to do that, when we open those. And then there's a pointing evaluation schedule there. You get so many points for different things. And then on page 5, it's just, you know, we reserve those rights and then contract negotiation. Once we just select somebody, then we enter into a contract negotiation with them. If we can't come to a term, then we go to the second highest bidder, which is, it's all the same price. Doesn't make any sense. And then they have to have certain insurance. So I was pleased we got 3 out of 5 sent back to us. One's in both, one's in Helen, and one's in North Dakota.
Oh, interesting.
And I have not opened them. Like I said, I want to do this before the public meeting with the commission. Let's see, for availability, there's so many points, you know, for 10 points for available resources, you know, if they're close. North Dakota's gonna be hard for them to come here to a lot of public meetings and stuff, but that's neither here nor there.
That's their choice.
That's their choice, that's correct.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to prepare you for next Monday's meeting, 2 o'clock. I'm on the agenda. And then the other item I want to talk about is my little DES budget. I'd like to request the commission to set up a capital improvement account for DES. And then I'd like to have some general fund money that I do not spend, I'd like to put in there for our development, our emergency operations center for 4-H, and then some equipment purchases. And I've been talking to the sheriff about one of their used vehicles, one of those Durangos. It would be nice to have a vehicle, so if I respond, I could have my stuff in it. If I use this vehicle, I did during the floods, had it for a whole week. And then I had to clean it up really nice, put it back, and then I had to go out the next day. So if I have my own vehicle, I'll have all my emergency operation plans and everything. So I visited with Brenda, asked her what she was gonna do with her old Durango, one that she's got now. She's got a new pickup or something, I don't know. So I talked to her about it. She said, well, you might have to pay it. I said, well, I'll do it, Commissioner. I do have a little money left in my budget. I won't spend it all. I have earmarked in my budget currently $3,500 for capital expenditures. And either put it in a CIP. And I told her I'd like to have this done this fiscal year, but then, because if I don't, then it rolls over to revert it back to the general fund. But if we set up a CIP, that would protect that. She didn't think she'd be ready to get her stuff out of and transfer a vehicle before the end of June, before July 1st. So Anyway, just wanna touch base with you, no decisions were made. She said I'd have to talk to the commission, I may have to come up with some money, and I said, well, I got a little money, it all depends what you want. So I
To
don't.
give you a guesstimate?
No, she didn't.
Okay.
And I did ask, could I, leave the radios in and stuff, those would be really handy.
Yeah.
And I think those radios were purchased, I don't know if they're purchased with COP money or PELT money, we have to kinda look into all this stuff. Just a food for thought, kinda let you know where I'm going.
Makes sense.